Someone specific that's absolutely insane I want to talk about in this video, and it's someone I didn't know about before this article, and they're really speaking out against this movie in a way that shows they have no idea what they're talking about. So Joy Behar, I believe that's her name, she is a host of the show The Voice, and she did not like the movie. She criticized the film for its R-rated content, argued that it was inappropriate and it's not a family-friendly movie for Disney. Hey everyone, my name is Aaron. Welcome back to the Critic Sensei YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine and some kind of controversy in regards to this, people saying things that really don't make much sense. But besides that, the movie was a smash hit, destroyed the box office, and honestly, definitely one of my favorite movies and definitely my favorite action movie of the year so far. It's hard to believe Disney came out with this movie, but it was a lot because of Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and other producers of this show that really made this movie come to life. So the movie's success can be attributed to a bunch of different factors. But primarily, like I said, the stand from Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy and writers Reese and Paul Wernick. These guys are awesome. They pushed back against Disney executives to make the movie they wanted because Disney wanted to push more of a DEI, more initiative towards this. And honestly, nothing's wrong with DEI, but if you're putting DEI over proper storytelling and character development, the movies will fail. That's how most of the Disney projects have been in the last couple of years, but Deadpool and Wolverine had none of that. So according to this article, most of the pushback was done with the reshoots of this movie that was done earlier this year. And Ryan Reynolds wanted to make sure this film stayed true to the roots of pure entertainment, and they did absolutely that. Like I stated, Disney wanted to include a lot of DEI stuff incorporated into the show, with heavy doses of diversity, equity, and inclusion. However, Ryan Reynolds and his team fought to keep the movie focused on what the fans loved. The humor, the action, and what defines Deadpool as a whole, all the crude humor, the swearing, everything. The action, the brutality, everything that makes Deadpool Deadpool. And the combination with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, their chemistry was honestly awesome, and honestly I couldn't be any happier with this film. It's honestly a breath of fresh air to have a movie in 2024 that doesn't have DEI incorporated into everything. This movie was great because it didn't have any of that in there. It focused on entertaining the fans, good acting, and a decent storyline. And the chemistry of the characters was so good, the character development was great, and adding the cameos to the show, a lot of them were great, some of them not as good, but either way, it was a great movie in my opinion overall. If you have yet to see Deadpool and Wolverine, it is a wild ride of pure entertainment. Ryan Reynolds did a great job capturing the essence of Deadpool, Wolverine, and these other characters. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but the film balances the action, humor, and fan service perfectly. And it created an experience that Marvel fans haven't seen in a very, very long time. However, with the success of Deadpool and Wolverine, there's going to be those people who are going to push back against it because it doesn't have their whole DEI initiative and so on. Someone specific that's absolutely insane I want to talk about in this video, and it's someone I didn't know about before this article, and they're really speaking out against this movie in a way that shows they have no idea what they're talking about. So Joy Behar, I believe that's her name, she is a host of the show The Voice, and she did not like the movie. She really disapproved of it and had a lot of strong words against the movie. She criticized the film for its R-rated content, argued that it was inappropriate and it's not a family-friendly movie for Disney. She expressed her concerns about the language and violence incorporated into this movie. And she specifically said that she was claiming that it was detrimental to society. So Behar's comments are not surprising, giving her history of controversial takes. She argues that films like Deadpool and Wolverine should be more family-oriented, missing the point that Deadpool's character is inherently R-rated. This criticism highlights a disconnect between her expectations and the nature of the source material. Though she knows nothing about Deadpool, if she even saw the first two movies, you would know what to expect about this third one that just came out. Honestly, the third one, I believe, was the weakest out of the three. It was still a great movie. It still had the brutal fights, the swearing, and it was that kind of movie. Deadpool's character has always been that ever since the comics. And honestly, who watches The View in 2024? Honestly, I don't know one person who does. I'm sure it has a small audience, but I didn't even know who Joy Behar was until I saw this article. I guess she does have a big voice, and her saying this stuff is honestly insane. Saying it should be family friendly even though it's Deadpool. The name of the movie and the character is Deadpool. Saying that Wolverine shouldn't be swearing and it's really immature, and she thought higher of Hugh Jackman and so on, which is honestly insane. And obviously she does work for Disney, and I can see why she's saying this stuff. Maybe trying to get on the good side of Bob Iger and so on. She has no idea what she's talking about. This is someone who's trying to push an agenda and a message on something that absolutely doesn't need it. And there's a reason why this movie was a hit. Because it didn't have any of that DI spewed into there. It focused on good storytelling. It focused on a decent plot, great character development. It was a fun action movie you can really enjoy. Despite Behar's complaints, Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy's vision shines through. They managed to keep the film true to its roots, making it a hit among the fans. The movie includes some of the greatest cameos. It stays true to the character's comic book origins, something that the fans deeply appreciate. That's why it's important to be faithful to the source material, unlike Disney's most recent show, The Acolyte, which completely destroyed the source material, had horrible storytelling and horrible character development and major plot holes. And it's worth mentioning that Deadpool and Wolverine is not a children's movie. And it's not to be viewed by young children. Even though Disney does own Marvel, it doesn't mean everything is for children. And on top of that, it's rated R. Critics like Behar seem to be out of touch with the film's intended audience and the expectations of long-term fans. She was really coming down hard on Ryan Reynolds specifically, saying that it was a poor decision on his part. She looked down upon him, saying that he could do way better. Obviously, she criticized all the swearing and all the violence, calling it a poor decision on Ryan Reynolds' part. But it's clear she honestly has no idea what she's talking about. Obviously, she has no idea who Deadpool is. She thinks it's some generic superhero, which it's absolutely not. She shouldn't be talking about something she has no real insight on. It's important to recognize that Deadpool and Wolverine is a departure from Disney's typical content. But honestly, that's what makes it special, and that's why it did so good in the box office. The movie stands out because it does cater to adult audiences. And this is really something different in the Marvel universe. Most of Marvel's superheroes are more intended for children and adults, but it doesn't have the crude humor, swearing, and brutality that Deadpool has. So having movies like Deadpool 1, 2, and this third one here, it's nice to have a movie that's specifically for adults, that has more adult humor, and so on. And this was definitely a win for Disney, something they really needed. Because the last 4 or 5 years, most of their projects, from Lucasfilm, Star Wars, to Marvel, they've had so many failures, lost so much money, lost a lot of their fandom, and they need to get back to their roots. They have to step back from pushing DEI into all their content, and they need to start focusing on good storytelling, good character development, making sure they're doing this over pushing their message. And Joy Behar is not the only one that shares her sentiment in regards to the Deadpool movie, but to be honest, these people don't matter. The movie was a smash hit. That's what matters. The fans love it. The ratings were good. And on top of that, the people that are against it, honestly, it doesn't matter. They are wrong. They can have their opinion, which is perfectly fine, but saying that Deadpool shouldn't be swearing, shouldn't be violent, it's absolutely insane. It shows they have no idea who Deadpool is or what these movies are about. Alright guys, I'm on the video here. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of Joy Behar's opinion on Deadpool. And there's other people as well that share her same sentiment in regards to the violence and the swearing. But this is not a normal superhero movie. Don't take your child to a rated R movie if you're not expecting to have violence, swearing, sexual context, and so on. Honestly, at this point, there's a rating there for a reason, and if you're not listening to that, you're dumb. And remember, I do respond back to every single comment I get. Thank you guys again for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.